Our next speaker is Zoe Brawn from Scotland Excel. She is a senior procurement specialist within the social care team and is leading on the early learning and childcare expansion for 2020 project. She's recently completed her Masters in Supply Chain and Procurement Management with a focus on ICT procurement and local authorities, so obviously an expert. So I'd like to welcome Zoe up to stand now.
Hi, morning everyone. Can everyone hear me okay at the back? Yep, great. Thank you very much for letting me speak today. I wanted to start by asking you to cast your mind back and think about what you were doing, where you were at in 2008, 10 years ago. So the standout moment for me was passing my driving test. It's right there what they say, it's the 5th time's the charm apparently. However, there were some other key moments from 2008. So Beyonce and Jay-Z got married, the financial markets crashed, Usain Bolt broke the world record for 100 metres with a time of 9.69 seconds, Barack Obama became the first African American to be elected President of the United States, and finally, last but not least, Scotland Excel was formed. So 10 years ago, maybe like some of you in the audience today, I wasn't quite sure what procurement was, and actually when I applied for an internship within a procurement team, I had to Google, possibly not even using Google, to find out exactly what it was. So today I'm hopefully going to give you the background, where Scotland Excels come from, what we do, and also where we're going and how you might fit into that picture. So, Scotland Excel, who are we? We are the centre of procurement expertise for the local government sector, and we're a leading non-profit shared service funded by Scotland's 32 local authorities. So we're governed by a joint committee of elected members, and they're responsible for the strategic direction of the organisation, but we also have a subgroup called the Executive Subcommittee, and they meet regularly to approve contract awards and other key business decisions. So we develop, tender and manage framework contracts across all 32 local authorities. At Scotland Excel, we're leaders of change. Over the past 10 years, we've helped to raise the profile of public procurement in local authorities by championing its potential to shape markets, support policy priorities, and ultimately ensure the sustainable delivery of services that every community needs. Our services are designed to help councils meet the twin challenges of reducing budgets at a time when there's growing demand. Collaborative procurement increases efficiency and ensures money is saved to protect frontline services. So Scotland Excel also offers award-winning learning and development programme and provides assessment, consultancy and improvement services that help local authorities to improve their own procurement capability. And we represent the sector at a national level on matters relating to public procurement. We've got 4 main goals. These are supporting the delivery of better and more effective public services, being sustainable in everything that we do, placing our customers at the heart of our business, and finally becoming the partner of choice for delivering shared services. So in terms of our portfolio, we have a value of £1 billion in framework contracts, and these support the delivery of social care, construction, roads, transport, environment, corporate and education, and also ICT services. And annually they achieve savings of about 12.7 million for councils. Strategic approach ensures that contracts are designed to encourage innovation, facilitate policy, support local economies, and generate social value for communities. So that looks great, but what does that actually mean in terms of what we procure and deliver? So I can say for pretty much everyone in the room, through your morning or your week, you've probably interacted with something from one of our frameworks. So whether it's the bins that you put your waste in, the vehicle that picks it up, the salt for our roads, the food that's supplied to your children at school time, or adaptations in an elderly relative or neighbour's house, they're all purchased from Scotland Excel frameworks. At Scotland Excel, we're proud of the achievements we've made over the last 10 years, and not just the actual frameworks that we delivered for the customers. Currently, across our frameworks, we have 746 suppliers, 70% are classed as SMEs, and of those 746, 461 are Scottish, with nearly 80% of these classed as SMEs. As well as that, there's also 20 micro businesses on our frameworks, and that's businesses with less than 9 employees. In the last year alone, working with our framework suppliers, we delivered 150 or created 151 jobs, 52 apprenticeship placements, over 2,500 hours of work experience, and also donated £329,000 to community initiatives. So in order to talk about where we are and where we're going, I'd just like to cast back to where we started out. When we started in 2008, the key goal was to get all 32 local authorities subscribed to Scotland Excel and using the frameworks that we delivered. When completing tenders, suppliers were asked to indicate which local authorities they could bid for, and when they couldn't bid for all, they were penalised, and this meant that smaller companies were often disadvantaged in the procurement exercises that we ran then. As well as that, during the development of our frameworks, we would have relatively minimal market engagement and engagement with our customers. Our goods were also very goods focused, whereas now we have a nice split between goods and services. So fast forward to 2018 even, and it's not just our logo that's changed. So like I said, we've expanded into services frameworks in areas such as waste, social care, construction and ICT, and our current contract portfolio sits at 60 live frameworks. We try to be innovative when we're asking for what we want, including local sourcing, which I'll come back to, and also where we can future-proof to make sure we meet the needs of customers today and also tomorrow and the next year. We work with framework suppliers to develop their supply chains where that's appropriate, and we also try and shape marketplaces to make them more competitive. And as well, prior to any tender exercise, we now fully engage with both the marketplace and all of our customers to understand what's out there and what our customers' needs and how the two fit together. So, are we there yet? As you can see from the graph, our portfolio's grown significantly over the last 10 years, but it's not just grown in monetary terms. We always have a real focus on sustainability and innovation in our frameworks, and we try and embed it into our frameworks, but how we do that depends on the marketplace that we are operating in. So for our food contracts, including meats and groceries and provisions, we've included products with a country of origin of Scotland while staying within the EU regulations, and done this through designing specifications that meet the requirements. So for our haddock, we've asked for single frozen haddock, which results in it having to be Scottish. Secondly, in our social care frameworks, such as secure care and telecare, we've standardised terms and conditions across the sector, and we've also delivered sustainable pricing, giving councils more clarity on budgeting. And lastly, on our trade materials framework, we've made community benefits a mandatory element of it, which has been a real significant benefit to councils. As I mentioned earlier, we split our frameworks into lots. However, within frameworks, we've split lots further into subcategories. And this means that for larger or rural local authorities, it gives smaller local suppliers the opportunity to bid. So within our milk framework, there's actually 56 different geographical areas that a supplier can bid for. So how else have we grown over the years? So we really pride ourselves in the evolution in terms of policy that we've made. So we work with Zero Waste Scotland on a number of our waste frameworks. We're tackling period poverty within our washroom solutions framework, and we have a seat at the table for numerous food policies, including better eating, better learning for school meals. With some of our frameworks entering their third generation, it's important for us to make each generation better than the last. For example, in our domestic furniture and furnishings framework, we have a lot that's specific to reuse furniture, which is designed to encourage SMEs and also third sector organisations to bid competitively for it. So an area where we can only continue to grow is in innovation. And in order to be sustainable, innovation is key to keeping your business growing and developing. So we don't only do that in terms of developing a framework, but we do it in terms of contract managing. So for our food frameworks, we've got some really innovative suppliers on there where they've developed new products that meet the nutritional standards. One of these is called a Cosmo Pizzini, which is a mix between a calzone pizza and a panini, and also a healthier pizza, which is made of wholemeal flour, but also seaweed, and it actually does taste delicious, I have to say. So, what have we delivered to date? As I mentioned earlier, it's not just about the monetary benefits, but in the local community benefits that we've delivered in the last 10 years. So not even in the last 10, but in the last 5, we've generated 354 jobs, 220 apprenticeships, over 60,000 hours of work experience, and coming up on £500,000 of community initiatives. And we've also diverted 1.4 million tonnes away from landfill. So a number of our suppliers are also living wage accredited, meaning that their employees are paid the living wage and meets the cost of living. So I've talked a little bit about where we began and where we're at just now, but I'm sure that you're all interested in where we're going and what opportunities we might have coming up. So in order to continue to be the partner of choice, we really have to keep up with the demand and the services and supplies that councils require and be proactive rather than reactive in the contracts that we're delivering. So one of the large new projects that we're delivering is for new build housing. This will be worth approximately £500 million over the 4-year period, and it's supporting local authorities with the Scottish Government commitment to build 50,000 new affordable homes by 2021. With this brings about lots of opportunities for subcontracting through large suppliers, as well as SME involvement through lotting structure, so that again will be probably geographically lotted. We're also considering new construction techniques such as off-site construction and manufacturing. For our social care, we've got a really well-established portfolio of children's social care services, but we need to take notice of the fact that we have an ageing population in Scotland. So we're delivering 2 new frameworks or contracts in these areas. So the first is care home services for older people, the National Care Home Contract, and the second is care and support services, which will seek to facilitate the provision of innovative approaches to promote choice and control in people's lives. And thirdly, as we were talking about at the start, I'm delivering the Early Learning and Childcare project to support councils with their expansion plans, both in terms of in-house provision, new build of nurseries, the right FID provision for these, and also in terms of partner providers in local communities. Finally, the ICT, so I'm sure that we're all aware that the digital year is very much upon us. So ICT cuts across a number of our commodity areas, whether that be our social care team and the development of a SWIFT system, our food team for cashless catering, or our education team for online school payments. So ICT is very much an area of growth, and we have a link in with the Digital Office of the Scottish Government. The OSS team in Scotland Excel has just had its first birthday as well, and as you might have guessed, it focuses on much more operational needs and requirements of councils, and it looks to remove the burden of tenders for them. So over the next 12 months, some of the areas that will be likely covered by this team include energy advice, hot beverages and vending machines, cleaning equipment, aids for daily living, and bread and rolls. On all of the new developments that I've mentioned today, we'll be undertaking market research extensively, and the best way to keep involved in this is going on PCS, as Scott was saying earlier, and registering on that. So yeah, I'd just like to thank you for your time, and hopefully that's given you a flavour of what Scotland Excel does, and I'm happy to take any questions, or you can find us at stand 35.